the biggest thing comes, of course, from the mentality, from the approach. And as I'm teaching my students, there are two types of money. There is the money in your bank account that you can actually go and spend. And then there is money that is in your trading deposit. So that is something that shouldn't even exist in your mind as a resource to buy toys. So when I had this problem as well in the very beginning when I really was always a fan of Rolls Royce. And I always saw that amount of money when I reached 100,000. I saw that as a quarter of a Rolls Royce. And if you start losing a little bit of that money, you're not just losing the money, you're moving away from your dream, from that Rolls Royce, for example, just as a broad example. And that is something that, of course, is adding on to the pressure. So when I'm trading, I don't care about money. It's
like because you don't attach the meaning to it, right?
Yeah,
you see the numbers.
Yeah, there is no meaning. And well, there are, of course, I'm still human. So if I'm having a really bad day, I might get really angry. And I've broken many keyboards in my life. And yeah, it's just a normal part of this job. But in general, there are many tricks, and it's a systematic work with yourself, because trading, it's not just about the charts and candles. It's about understanding your inner self. And trading has taught me so much about myself. It's crazy. Before trading and after trading, I actually know who I am. I know my weaknesses. I know the points when I should just give up on and do other things. So I understand my inner self completely now. So
tell me some more about that. Give me some examples of like situations where I learned this about myself, but only through trading, only because I did trading.
Sure. Well, one of the biggest things, I guess, is believing when you're trading and you're getting angry. A lot of times when you would tell some person that why you're so angry, and they might actually tell you, I'm not angry. But so it's oftentimes they are not even noticing that they're angry. And for me, I used to trade impulsively. And if I'm getting angry, for example, I'm having many losing trades in a row, and I would start doing some stupid things, but I wouldn't even notice it. So this is the psychological slippage, as I call it. So the anger is just clouding your judgment completely. And being able to control your judgment all the time is a big skill to learn. And this is something that I've realized that if I start losing a little bit of money, my judgment is gone. So, and 5 minutes ago, I was completely cool. But the problem is that at some point, I wasn't even noticing this problem. And this is the thing that, as I think Mark Twain said, that it's not what you know for sure that gets you in trouble. It's the stuff that you don't, what was it? It's not the stuff that you don't know, but it's the stuff that you think that you know for sure that just ain't so. Yeah, that was the quote. So, and when you think that you're completely cool and you're sitting there with huge eyes, red eyeballs, and you're sweating completely, but you think everything is fine and you actually believe it. It's almost like an addiction. And when and this is going through this process and surviving it actually teaches you to step back and look at yourself from the side. And it's a very small amount of people are able to do that. And it's just one of the things. It sounds a bit like a paradox, but yeah.
No, I think it's amazing because it's like, applying all the methods that people teach in self-help books and, like how to manage yourself, do this, do that, but you're like applying that in a high pressure, environment. What are the 3 lowest points in your life? Like probably those were, I'm guessing, the losses, like when you were like throwing away those keyboards.
Those are just situations. I wouldn't call them being the lowest points. When I was thinking about this before, I think that the absolute lowest point was the end of my education with my mentor. As I said before, when I lived in the States, I was doing some buying and selling stuff. So this is where my initial capital for trading came from. And once I got done with my education and my mentor finally said that, oh, listen, Thomas, you're about ready to start trading with money. And I made a big mistake of starting with pretty much all the money that I had. I started with $17,000 plus or minus. And it was a big mistake. But and that's where that lowest point came from. I started trading, and even after this education, after this super wealthy and guy spent so much time on me and has been such a great friend to me, and it's just I felt so attached to him. And plus I grew up without a father, and he did so many things for me within those 6 months than anybody in this life, in this world, and then my real father has ever done for me. And so I had this obligation that I must, make him proud. And I screwed it up completely. I lost almost all money. It's for when I think about these $17,000 right now, it's not that big of a deal for me. But back then it was
everything.
It was everything. And it wasn't just the money. It was this guy's time and the way that he just basically spent this super valuable time of his on me. And I almost broke down back then. And only actually thanks to him, I was able to pull through, because he was my, not just trading mentor, but also like life mentor. And he taught me so many things. It's unbelievable. And that was probably the lowest point, when I was just realizing that I know what I'm supposed to be doing, but I am doing everything in a completely wrong way, just because of a wrong psychology, and simply because I've started with too much money. And that's when I started losing quite a lot in the beginning. The revenge trading is kicking in, meaning that you're just trying to get the money back. It's just like in a casino, and it just goes down and down and down from there. And it was, so I lost 6 months of my time. I lost basically the chance of getting a US passport. I've basically given up on getting my studying for LSAT and going to Ivy League law school. I wasted 6 months of this guy's time. And it was just, I thought that the life had ended, and this was the bottom.
So how did you get out of that? Because that, like, someone would just go and hang himself.
Pretty much, yeah. But, well, I'm the kind of guy that, I guess I am just strong in some of these situations. I was crying and I was like a baby. But at some moment, I just got myself together. I rehearsed all the rules once again. I went through this whole process, because when you're learning, you must be taking notes. And I had like 100 pages of notes when this guy was teaching me. So I went through this whole thing again. I demo traded for some time, I believe a few weeks. And then I had about 4,000 left in the trading deposit. And I just went back and started trading again and again. And it just slowly started working. And that's how I basically pulled out of it. But it was just huge luck.
Wow. It's like very classy, like the lowest with everything, not just like the money, what you could expect from trading, but everything in the life. And then and from that time, did it all go up with the trading and life, or has it been like
it's up and
and
down? It's constant up and down. This is what again adds to the incredible amount of stress. Because the stuff that I've been doing, there are two types of trading. There is professional trading, and then there is day trading. Well, in my opinion, day trading can still be professional, but the main difference is that professional trading is what the institutions are doing. So this is long-term stuff, buying stocks, maybe some currencies, but holding them for longer periods of time. But for something like this, you would need at least $500,000 to start, because the annual return is very small. But again, the risk is a lot smaller and the stress levels are a lot lower, because you're doing your analysis and maybe you're just keeping an eye on your stock portfolio. But what I've been doing and how I made my money, most of it, it's hyperactive trading. So 18 hours a day, you're having like 50 trades per day. And it's constant, up and down, up and down. And it's not that fun at all.
I wonder what happens in your blood system with all the adrenaline.
I don't know. It's just probably not blood anymore. It's just something else. But I got used to it. But I guess I was fine with this lifestyle. But until I met the love of my life that we were planning a family with, and then I realized that probably it's time for me to do something else. And that's pretty much the reason why I'm slowly going into education, so I can still make some money. And again, online education is a multi-billion-dollar industry, so it's still possible to make a lot of money, if not more than trading, without any trading related stress. But so far, actually, it's a funny thing, but so far I had more stress than with trading.
Oh, really? Because it's new? Do you think because of
Yes,
that?
everything is new. I have 21 people working for me, and I mean, I like people, and I especially like smart people and people with ambition. But oh man, it's just so many small details in marketing, in IT, in we need to use this application and that application, and it's just all new to me. I know how to use a few applications over there, but that's it. So everything was completely new. And then I just for fun, I can show you my this is the list of the things that I needed to do this week, and it's never ending, and I just do it
You
this
just
way.
add, yeah.
Yeah, this is just I like to do it this way because it's laying on my bigger table here where I'm
Yeah.
doing most of the work for the school and for the education, and then I'm just stapling them together all across the table so that I can always glance at what the hell I need to do more today.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, it's a lot.
So why going into education and maybe the importance of the financial education? I'm super passionate about education by working in education for 12 years, and
Yeah.
and if you get me started on that, like I would totally burn down all the schools.
Well, yeah, education, if we are talking about the general education, I think it's quite useful anyway. When I went to the university, I studied a lot of, well, my major was criminal justice and my minor was philosophy. I liked, Immanuel Kant and Hobbes and all those philosophers, the big ones. It just opens up your mind and you learn how to think out of the box. And even when I was studying criminal justice, I still had to take calculus. So I'm good with math. And all of these things, they develop you. But of course, if you're talking about making $1 million per year, then simple education is probably not going to cut it, unless you want to go to really fancy Ivy League school and then work even more than I'm working. Then maybe you'll have a chance to do it within the 20-year period. But if you want to make a lot of money before turning 30, you have to think out of the box.
And then for you, like bringing this as in with the education, what do you believe it's going to change?
Well, quite honestly, we did a huge research before I even started putting together my learning program, which took me about 12 months to put it together because we have like 150 lessons, 82 assignments, and 149 tests, and I had to put it all together myself. I couldn't really trust it to anybody else. And before I did all that, I had my marketing team that I've hired to do the research and to tell me about my competitors. So, and we've taken top, best, well, according to, marketing. So they are the biggest in terms of sales. And I looked at the material that they are selling, and quite honestly, it's not bad, but it's pretty basic. And it's not really possible to make money with it. So what is going to change? Well, so far, the reviews that I'm getting are only positive. And a lot of my students have taken at least one of those bigger courses from the super expensive guys. And they're saying that this is the most detailed program that they've ever taken. But in general, trading education, I believe that it's not possible to trade without it. As a small story, even before I met my mentor, I actually did try to learn it myself, and I did try to do some small investments, and I just failed miserably. And I thought that I know a lot, and I thought that this is a simple job of buying and selling, but actually pinpointing those spots where to buy and to sell, you have to understand that you are working against Wall Street. For you to make money, somebody's got to lose that money. Yeah. And if we are talking about the competition in the market, I mean, lawyers have less competition than traders within the market because we are inside the damn market. So it's a huge competition. And sometimes, we take, as day traders, we take the slice of the money that some big guy, the big guy is losing. For example, Goldman Sachs, they haven't had a losing year for 20 years. Oh, so wow. Try working against them. It's a competitive place to be, and people just need to use a little bit of logic. A lot of, again, it's just due to the marketing of those gurus who say that it's all just so simple when they're selling some courses for $30 to make $5,000 in the next 3 days. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I think it's a big BS.
Well, it's a lot of fun for me to watch sometimes, since I'm interested in trading and I've been a trader for so many years. I am still researching different topics, and I'm looking at different ads, and Google knows that I'm interested, and that's why Google is always, and Facebook always is sending me those ads, and those ads are just unbelievable. It's just so much fun for me to watch.
It's fun,